Hello again, ladies. This is my third attempt at doing this, exactly the steps that I took that helped me see that I was losing 2 stone, and it took just 2 months. So these are all the steps that I took. I've worked out there's probably about 5 steps of how I've been able to sort of manifest this new body and lose the weight and still keep the weight off. So that's what I'm going to be going through with you today. Just the steps that I took to help you understand it's not all about food, it's not all about exercise, it's how we can get better energy in our body. So I've just got a few things that I want to go through with you today that's going to get you really clear on maybe helping you to see some of the things that are on the that were on the background for me, and you can kind of go, oh God, yeah, that's probably affecting me big time too. And then how we can actually go through and how we can actually just clear that away so it doesn't affect you anymore. If you're a woman over 40, you have to know that your metabolism is kind of really slowing down. So we need to be able to look at the hormones, we need to be able to look at mindset, we need to be able to look at some of the things that you're carrying around with you, the responsibility, the pressure, the stress, as to how that's actually affecting you and the chemical culprits within your body. So that's everything that we do, and that's what we talk about. We talk about what's going on behind the scenes of your body and what's creating your body. So we help you get into the right mindset, we help you get into the right vibration so that you can actually change your body. And you know that if you've made a decision, I mean a firm decision, right, that's it, I'm going to change my body, I'm going to start to feel comfortable and confident in my body, you'll start getting names and faces and things like that pop up into your experience, and you'll hear something and you'll kind of go, that's what I needed to hear. So hopefully things that I'm saying to you today will kind of make you go, aha, that's exactly what I needed to hear. So that's what I'm here to do, to let you know what exact steps I took to help me lose 2 stone in 2 months, so that you can take a fresher look from a different perspective at yourself. So when you've made that decision, I hope that's why you're here, because you've made a decision. And let's just go through some of the steps that we did. So this works if you're vegan, this works if you're vegetarian, if you're like a real meat eater, or any of those kind of other ways that you're doing with nutrition. But what I found was, one of the main things was that I still wasn't eating the right food for me. I didn't understand that even though I was eating like, oh my God, uber healthy food, being kind of obsessive about healthy food, that wasn't really helping me, because I hadn't understood the fuel system that I needed to work on. But we're going to focus on releasing specific subconscious mental blocks that go on behind the scenes that is causing your body to keep the weight on. Call it protection, call it whatever you want, but there is a reason why your body hasn't been able to lose that weight no matter what diet you're doing. Sometimes it can be to do with, God, if I could only speak English, I'd be like sailing here. Sometimes it can just be to do with changing your nutrition, changing your mindset. So that's what we're going to be talking about here. So, you know, get away to throw away those diet books and all the regimes you've been on. You really need to kind of look at things from a different perspective and take things from a new angle. You know, there are secrets to real and lasting natural weight loss without popping pills, without always concentrating on supplements, without always concentrating on just the nutrition. There are secrets that are running behind the scenes that will do you really good to sort of understand what's going on. So again, this is why I'm here. So this is not a diet plan, this is not a meal plan, there are no rules. I want you to understand that you need to understand your body the same way as I came to understand my body. That's why I've set this out for you today. So we're going to focus on the real reason why you can't stick to a diet, and why everything you've tried just has sort of like backfired or not worked out very well for you, or why you self-sabotage, like you're doing really well in a diet and then all of a sudden you self-sabotage and you just drop it, you just give up, you drop it. So that's what we're going to be looking at today. These are all the action steps that I took, so hopefully you'll start to see the missing pieces for you within the journey that I had to do with losing the 2 stone in 2 months. Once I started filling in those particular pieces and understanding why I was resisting or what I was stopping and blocking myself, then I began to understand. So as with always, we always start with the nutritional side, and nutrition can be not just the vitamins and minerals. Nutrition can actually be, you know, what you're lacking and what you want and what you need most in life. You know, those are also nutritions. But let's just look at nutrition. So I've been nutritionally trained and detox trained. I know how to cleanse the body. I've been doing that for the last 12 years for myself and for ladies coming on retreats with me. And people feel absolutely fabulous. But, you know, you can't keep that up for the whole of your life. And I didn't realise that 50% of the foods that I was eating were still on a fuel system that my body could not support. I was predisposed to using a different kind of fuel system. You know, some women do extremely well on carbohydrates and on sugars and on high fibers and on all those kind of things. And other women, you know, we need a longer burn. And the longer I was kind of staying on grains and carbohydrates and a lot of this fiber stuff, I was understanding some things were good for my gut, but some things really weren't working out for me at all. I was ravenous nearly all the time. You know, not long after I'd eaten, I would get really hungry again. And it wasn't until I did some tests to do with my hormones and tests to do with some physical symptoms that I was getting, which is why I do the body code now for every single person that I work with, to end up finding out what the fuel system is that your body is predisposed to doing. So I bred the proper enzymes that really worked on burning the fuel that I now started taking, the probiotics that helped me kind of digest and absorb the fuel that I was burning. When I changed over to this fuel that works for me 100%, it won't necessarily work for you. That's why you need to find out which of the 3 body codes you are. I was blown away and I'm just like, oh my God, I have been avoiding this particular fuel. For me, it was fat. I needed to eat fat. And I was just like, you've got to be kidding me. I've been like lean, I've been vegetarian, raw vegan, no fat, and scared of eating fat. And all of a sudden, here was somebody saying, but this is really what's going to work for you, Fiona. This is what's going to get you beyond, you know, having to starve yourself and feeling hungry all the time. This will have you on a long burn. And what's more, you will actually be able to access the fat cells in the fat store that you've got. And in the lean times, your body will just access those, the hormones will be activated, and you'll be able to go in and actually empty out some of the fat stores you've got. What's more, when I changed my fuel system, my nutrients, the food that I was eating, I was kind of blown away that I felt calmer. I felt much more relaxed. I was not going into sort of hormonal mood swings. Everything just seemed a lot clearer for me in my head. I could sort of concentrate and I could work for longer periods of time. I wasn't always looking to kind of eat something or fill that particular gap. It changed so many things for me. But I also saw my resistance. I also saw what was coming up for me in that, oh, wow, I am losing this weight. My body is changing. What if I don't like myself when I've lost this weight? What if I don't like the male attention that I get when I've lost this weight? And that has happened. I've had to sort of build up stronger boundaries. I've had to get very strong on the inside so that I can stand firm and I can change my energy and I can change the way I look at things so that if I do get unwanted male attention, I know how to express myself and I know how to handle it. Some of the things that went on here, I had to really have a look at the energy that I was carrying. So if you lose weight, but you feel that you're going to get really slim and get unwanted male attention, you know, you really need to know how you want to feel about that. And I have had to get rid of any victim energy, which is very attractive for certain kind of men to kind of pounce on, so that I can become the energy of a queen, so that I can feel really strong in myself. And I mean building up the energy from the inside so that you're not susceptible to having unwanted attention. Now that can be from men or from women. If you're carrying a certain kind of energy, that can really bring about certain negative attention from women as well. And I noticed that some of my friends didn't like the fact that I was losing the weight. And I also got negative male attention, you know, from family members or something like that, or, you know, even simple comments like, oh, I preferred you the way you were, or, oh God, I really love you, you know, I want to take you home. You know, you don't want that kind of energy around you if you are open to having that kind of conversation and it makes you feel really, really uncomfortable. This again is when your body makes a decision, I want to protect you, and the body's only method of protecting you sometimes is helping you keep the weight on, so you're just not attractive enough, or you don't feel. It's everything to do with how you feel. 80% of the women that I coach do not go this far. They will only look at the food, and they will not look at why you end up sabotaging yourself and why you undo all your good work as soon as you start to lose weight, because there's something going on in the background. Often it's just to do with negative attention from other people, and because you maybe don't have the responses, or maybe you don't have the ways to deal with that, or you don't know how to express that. Also, you don't know what you're feeling. Now, this was a huge step for me. So first of all, the nutrition, the fuel. The second thing is like changing your energy, so you stop becoming the victim and allowing people to say those kind of things to you, and you go into like a much stronger, for example, a queen energy or something like that. You devise the only energy that you want to feel when you feel slim, so that you don't stop. The third thing, which is really very important as well, is working out some of the things that are going on for you. So if you can't communicate, if you haven't been able to sort of deal with those confrontations, what's coming up for you? One of the main things that was coming up for me was anger, resentment, hurt ego, and you know, rejection, those kind of things. I'm thinking, I don't really know how each of those feel in my body. I know I'm getting stressed. I don't like the way I feel, so it just makes me want to run for the door. But when you understand what each of those feel like, so for example, I understood what anger feels like in my body, and of course I'd resisted feeling angry, because like, oh no, nice girls don't get angry. I'd resisted feeling angry, and I'd kept all that inside. And of course, that's to do with the liver. The liver often becomes very fatty, and it's often the middle section that really mirrors what's going on the inside. So some of the thoughts that I was thinking was causing the body to protect me, was causing the body to do certain things, hold on to weight to protect me, because of this anger that I was feeling. I was feeling huge amounts of anger towards certain people that I actually hadn't ever cleared or had that conversation with them, because I didn't know how. I also didn't know that I was feeling anger because I'd not wanted to look at myself as an angry person. So anger was something that I definitely had to clear, along with rejection and resentment, hurt, sadness. I had to look at those and know how they felt in my body. So now that I've cleared, or at least I understand how anger looks for me, what the energy is and where it sits in my body, I'm not so frightened of it. So when anger comes up for me, I'm able to kind of go, okay, that's anger. Why am I angry at that? What do I need to clear to do with that? These are the 5 big emotions that I often talk about. There are 5 key ones. So anger, sadness, hurt, guilt, shame, and fear. If you're covering those, you're covering the main basis of some of the things that go on in your body, how you're affected and how you're influenced, and why your body doesn't let go of the weight that you're carrying, despite the fact that you're detoxing, you're fasting, you're on diets forever and ever and ever, and you're flipping practically starving yourself, or you feel you have to run, but then you just stop. It's because you haven't dealt with those particular elements behind. And I resisted dealing with those because I felt they were going to be really hard and tearful, and I didn't want to have to go through all those things again. When I went through the emotional side of my eating and I understood what was really going on, I was just like, That easy? Nah, can't be that easy. But when that person came up back in my life again, I'm like, I'm normally feeling really angry at that person. I'm normally feeling really bitter. What's going on? Or I'm resenting that person, but I'm not affected by that anymore. I had a client last week and she just said, I can be in the room with my mother and have a normal conversation and leave and not need to stuff my face because I'm so angry. And I'm like, oh my God, brilliant. She was leaving being completely unaffected. That's the whole journey, to be unaffected by the people who bring these things up for you. Ex-partners, parents, partners, children, bosses, people you work with. They're all there to trigger some of the things that your body and your soul are just going, okay, enough already. Let's deal with this. And your weight is often the first time that your body shows you that there's something that's just a bit off kilter, and she would really love you to be able to deal with that kind of emotion in your everyday life. So it's a coping mechanism. I was so flipping happy when I realised that I didn't have that old story going around and around and around in my head about my parents or my ex. My ex was a big one that I had to clear up because it was affecting me on a massive scale. And at the moment I've got one about sort of overworking going on and forcing myself that I should be working, that I should be doing this and I should be doing that. So that's something that I'm clearing right now. Understanding the emotional reasons why we eat is so simple. Not only do you get to walk in a room and not be affected by it anymore, but the whole energy of that has just been lifted off and released. It is so liberating, I can't tell you. The 5 big emotions, the big 5, like the lions, the leopards, the cheetahs, whatever in Africa, the big 5. These are the emotional vibrations that are influencing you and affecting your body. And I know for myself, would have me running to the kitchen every single time I felt a little bit uncomfortable because I didn't really know what was making me feel uncomfortable. I was not aware or capable with dealing with my emotions. It was a huge educational process that I had to go through. Cleared them all within a few weeks, about an hour session each. I was like, whew, wow, that doesn't affect me anymore. That story's not going around and around in my head. I'm thinking far less. Those are some of the things that were brilliant. So we talked about nutrition, we've talked about the energy of being a victim, and we've talked about, you know, some of the 5 big emotions that can make a huge impact on you currently sabotaging yourself every single time you lose weight, while your body won't allow you to lose weight again. There's much more detail here and I will post the whole article, but these are the 5 key elements that I did that were behind the scenes that stopped my body actually losing the weight in the first place, or every single time I lost weight, why I went on to sabotage myself. You really have to get familiar. I had to get very familiar, therefore so did everybody else, when you're triggered. If you understand when you're triggered, so you kind of go, whew, I'm feeling uncomfortable, I'm feeling stressed, I kind of don't want to be here, I want to leave. That's a trigger for you. And I went last week through some of the feelings that you get. You can feel choked in your neck, you can feel really hot, or you can go red, or you know that you're holding your breath, or you want to run, or you're just jittery. Your stomach can just want to release itself, or you go to the toilet a lot, you pee a lot. A lot of those things are your body signaling to you, I feel really uncomfortable here. That is a fantastic sign, because that's a really good opportunity for you to kind of go, what is triggering me? Who here is triggering me? How do I feel in my body? What is going on? And then when you name it, you're so much further forward to trying to find out what it is that's affecting you and influencing you and trigger you to feel so stressed. I teach every single woman that I work with the stress test. In other words, this is your 10. This is like life or death. This is like, oh my God, this is like a huge drama. And I teach you what your zero is, what you're just like, not stressed at all. Life is beautiful. Everything is going along really, really well for me. My belly's relaxed, my shoulders are relaxed. You know, there's a big divide between that. But some of us can be predisposed to having an awful lot of stress in our life. We've been triggered from an early age. We were brought up and came up in a family that was just volatile, just on the edge of of being a volcano. You never knew when that was going to happen. I had experiences of like, oh my God, what's happened? You know, just because somebody sneezed, I was just vigilant the whole time. I was running on a very, very high level of stress. So I had to learn this one technique that I can do anywhere that takes 5 minutes, that reduces my stress and gets me to go, that's got nothing to do with me. Lean back, feel inside my body, get grounded, and then kind of go, so what was it that got me so stressed in the first place? Because every single time I felt that kind of stress in my body, either immediately or much later, I would dive to the food. I would dive into like, I need something to bring me down. I need something heavy in my body. I need to bring myself. That was my only way of dealing with the stress. So the more proficient I got at dealing with my stress and sort of bringing it down, something that I felt was a 9 or a 10, which actually really was like a 2, it wasn't necessary for me to have to deal with right there and then. Some people actually take on the whole world on their shoulders, thinking they have to fix everything and fix everybody. So this is what I'm talking about, being able to understand, is it your stress? Is it necessary for you to deal with it? What is causing the stress? It's their drama, but why is it triggering you? Because you don't want to be told off, because you're a little bit nervous, you don't feel secure, you don't feel safe. I had to get myself into such a place where I knew I was safe in my own body, so that if a drama went off over there, I was able to kind of go, but I'm still safe. And I can lay my hat, I can feel at home wherever I lay my hat. I needed to find out where my home was, and my home in my body, so that I was really standing strong and standing tall, expressing myself, having strong boundaries, understanding who I was around all sorts of different people. And a flower does not close itself depending on who she's around. A flower decides to be a pretty flower and do whatever she wants, no matter who she's around. But this was something I had learned, that I was adapting all the time. I was adapting what I ate. I was adapting how much I ate. I was adapting my own energy. I was adapting to other people's energy. I was trying to fit in. This took some doing to actually stand tall and stand in my own energy, so that I felt strong no matter who I was around, or no matter what place I was in or what circumstances I was in. That is the inner beauty and the inner strength of being able to do this work. Knowing when you're triggered, knowing what emotion you're feeling, knowing what fuel burns best in you so you can reset your hormones. This is just such powerful, powerful work. And I'm able to say, God, thank you, body, for showing me that we weren't coping very well, and that you wanted me to learn how to cope with the stress, and learn how to cope with my day, and learn how to cope with being around people who are just not on my wavelength, but they were in my life. So thank you so much for showing me that things weren't quite working out for me, and that I had a little bit of deeper diving to do. And with that, my body relaxed, my body felt at home, she felt safe to lose the weight. This is why this is not a diet. And we're going to find out what's going on behind the scenes, so that you can release specific subconscious mindsets, understand your emotions, and you can get yourself into a better place, and know how you can get yourself into a better place. Finding out your major 5 emotions that trigger you is just so goddamn valuable. Really, one of the main things I found by becoming stronger and becoming able to cope better, being more me, allowing myself to be me, letting go of feeling unworthy, is I really began to love the body that I was in, really appreciate everything about her, and put myself first, second, and third. I dug deeper, and with that I found this kind of knowing, this intuition about, you don't need to eat that, you don't need to dive for the food. Right, okay, so what do I need instead? Now these are missing nutrients. Often the biggest thing that I needed most of, was connection, and I certainly wasn't getting that in an awful lot of the relationships that I had. I didn't feel connected really to my parents. I didn't feel connected to my brother. I didn't feel connected to the people that I work with. Nobody really looked you in the eye. And I certainly didn't feel that kind of deep connection that I'd always wanted with, well, you know, intimate partners that I had. I'm like, God, what's going on here? And it wasn't until I started doing the coaching, it was like, these people really listen to me. They really understand me. They understand and they can see what's going on behind the scenes. That is so valuable. I feel seen. I feel heard. I feel that I am connected. The connection gave me the picture that I needed to see. Connection was everything. And as I connected with myself more, so I understood what was triggering my emotions, I understood what I wanted instead. I knew and I know the kind of woman that I want to be in the next phase of my life. She's really relaxed. She's really coping very well. She's not being triggered and having mood rages or binging on food or feeling uncomfortable or any of those kind of things. She's a woman in the next phase of her life who's moving into the next phase of her life, who's bringing her inner self with her. She's connected to this inner part of herself who knows that she's brilliant, who knows that she's strong, who knows that she's resilient. And she's not frightened to sort of speak boldly, to go where no one else has gone before. She's becoming a leader. She's really understanding what she needs and what she wants out of life, to feel alive, to feel peaceful, to feel deep, deep love and satisfaction and connection with people. Connection so that she can kind of go, there you are, that's who you are. Let's bring that out. Let's find out who you are, what you're meant to be here for, so that you and your soul are living your divine purpose. The weight disappears when you don't see the world as such a heavy place, when you're not carrying an awful lot of burdens, when you're not pleasing everybody else other than pleasing yourself. This is what I mean when I say you're missing nutrients, and when you put yourself first, second and third. It's the most beautiful transformation. And that's what I mean about dropping 2 stone in 2 months, weight-wise, but you're dropping 2 stone of 2 huge boulders in your head of overthinking, 2 boulders in your chest and in your heart and in your belly. All that stuff that you're carrying around, all those overthinking thoughts that you're having, and all that crap and hurt and judgment and criticism, all the emotions, the resentment, the anger, the fear, the hurts, heaps and heaps of sadness. When those are lifted off, I mean energetically lifted off, I mean they leave your body. You can see them leave with the stories that you no longer need to tell. This is a woman who feels absolutely priceless in whatever she wears, wherever she goes. And this is, I mean, I would say that less than 1% do this actual kind of deep digging to find out what's going on below the surface. It doesn't take long to do. Find out who you are and why you're here and all your best qualities, and you can bring those forward into the next phase of your life. As I said, the best journey ever. Throw your diet books away, throw the rule books away, find out that it's not just about diet, it's not just about what you eat, it's letting go of all these other things. Ladies I work with and myself have lost 2 pounds consistently every single week when we've been doing this kind of work, changing your fuel system. The biggest weight goes in the weeks when we have released and cleared some of the huge emotional burdens that we're still hanging on to. When you realize that it's not about the food, when you realize the secrets of what's going on, what stories you've held in the past, and how you can actually just let those go. Let those go for absolutely ever. For the rest of your life, you won't have to think about that. You won't need to worry about that. And it's all completely doable. It's a total freedom for your body. And that's what I'm talking about when I say exactly the steps that I took. I covered nutrition. I covered the stress. I covered the hormones. I covered what was triggering me. But this was all part of the same bundle. This was all finding out, what is that I'm feeling? Why am I feeling so stressed? And these are the biggest 5 reasons why your body won't let the weight go. All that happens at the same time. It's not like, oh my God, this is going to take months. It's a short space of time when you can lose the quickest amount of weight possible. And these are exactly the steps that I took that lost me 2 stone in 2 months. And you can do exactly the same. It's so much easier than you think. It's absolutely the most fabulous journey that I've ever been on. I'm a transformed woman, and I'm just becoming more and more of the woman I saw that I was going to be, that I wanted to be in the next phase of my life. And she's now here. She's now coming forward, walking and talking and telling everyone else, sharing what the steps were that I had to take so that I didn't have to have those stories about not eating and starving and always being on a diet anymore. Your body is talking to you, and she's here to tell you you are marvelous and everything you want is possible, and believe that it's available for you right now. I'm Fiona Robertson. I am the Body Renewer, and I am a body whisperer, helping you to understand what's going on in your body, what you're holding on to, as to why your body cannot release the weight, and why she does every time you resist it and you sabotage yourself, because there is a reason why you actually don't want to lose the weight. My God, it's crazy. It's crazy when you understand. You just kind of go, but I do want to lose the weight. And your body's just going, yeah, but you said you didn't because you didn't like that kind of attention. It's so fabulous and it's so funny. And it's kind of like, oh my God, I get the bigger picture. Can't believe I was still doing that. It's a contract and a program that you're still running. We need to be able to undo those programs. And then you can you can be this agile young woman again who really enjoys being in her body. And you will see yourself with your underwear falling off because it's too big, getting into being okay, being in a bikini and going down the beach and kind of going, oh my God, I never thought that was going to be possible for me. Especially in my 50s, that I'm just still wearing a bikini, and I'm actually really enjoying going cycling or playing badminton, or I've got the energy to do that. Where's all this energy coming from? Because it's so exhausting carrying all those beliefs and all those emotions and all those hurts around with you. So ladies, please, please let yourself let those go. Find out what they are for you and help clear out those big 5. They're like big whammies, honestly. All right, I'm going to love you and leave you, and I'm going to see you next week. I'm going to be doing some more education to do with this and deeper diving into specifically what needs to be done, what you can do, what you can start to do right now, so you can clear the path and you can start seeing what's going on underneath the surface. All right. Need to feel alive. Speak to you later. Bye bye.